Come with us on this beautiful summer's day to watch the people of Whitley enjoying another traditional Rose Queen fete. Preparations for the procession are underway in the schoolyard. The children of the playgroup are helped aboard the trailer, which is to be pulled by Robert Pacey's tractor. Mrs. Straw and Mrs. Horton find seats for all our citizens of the future. I wonder if someday one of them will be making a film of this event. Nervousness shows through with fingernails bitten to the bone. The retiring Queen, Derry Vaughan Edwards, savoured the last few minutes of her reign with her retinue. Meanwhile, Queen-elect Dawn Pattinson and Crown Bearer Matthew Orme await instructions. Chief Attendant Janine Irving and Attendants Emma Percival and Rachel Barron and Train Bearers Richard Horton and Henry Wood look on patiently. Reverend Martin Whitwell joins the procession for the last time as Vicar of St Luke's Church, Lower Whitley, before retiring to Shrewsbury, where he was made a freeman. Derry Vaughan Edwards leaves her retinue at the stage before going back to meet Queen-elect Dawn Pattinson. A helping hand by Mr. Littler avoids what could have been an embarrassing moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 1990 Whitley Rose Queen, and we hope that Dawn will have just an enjoyable year as Derry has for 1989.
Mr. Littler apologised for the absence of the fair due to illness and also no gymnastics entertainment. He then introduced Mr. Arms as President of the Rose Queen Committee. Due to unforeseen circumstances this year, we are unable to broadcast Mr. Arms' speech to the village. Unbeknown to us all at the time, this day turned out to be his last as president. He resigned at Christmas 1990. Mr. Arms was chairman of the Rose Queen Committee from 1968 to 1975. The year after, he became president and continued in office until 1990. For many years, a feature of his forthright speeches on Rose Queen Day was to encourage the community spirit to come alive by taking part in village events and ensuring traditions and local customs continue. The ladies and children of the Women's Institute relaxed before taking part in their Edwardian cricket match. Mrs. Prescott, a long-standing resident, mentioned that the proceeds from the Rose Queen Day went towards providing an annual Christmas party for the senior citizens of Whitley. and encouraged other eligible people to attend this function.
Members of the committee and everybody that's worked very hard for this day, and a lot of work does go into this. The people that don't know, there is a Christmas party that is paid for out of the funds that are raised here. And don't pretend you're not old enough to go. It gives me great pleasure to crown Dawn Whitley Rose Queen of 1990, and I hope she has a lovely year.
The presentation of sprays were by Brad Foster to Mrs. Prescott, Lewis Monaghan to Mrs. Arms, Rebecca Brannigan to Mr. Arms, William Taylor to Mrs. Littler, and Jack Stubbs to Mr. Littler. The Rose Queen Committee gift was presented by Mrs. Pat Sharp. Now comes the time for family and friends to present their gifts and take photographs to look back on. Children's fancy dress always raised a smile. Here is Turkish Delight Hannah Clark and Little Bo Peep Jessica Barber, leading the way for Andy Pandy Lorian Cox. Robert and Andrew Percival as footballers. Hawaiian girl Emma Yarwood, birthday present Kelly Heatham, and Robert Begbie as yet another Dennis the Menace. They're all Dennis the Menace at times, aren't they? African lady Lucy Tapping, Indian girl Lindsay Evans, and the quick fit fitter Mitchell Platt has a problem with his hat. It doesn't fit. Fireman Sam William Taylor and Brother James as pop star Bros bids for fame next to cowboy Lewis Monaghan. The judges, Neil and Dominique, chose in first place Lorian Cox as Andy Pandy. Second place, William Taylor as Fireman Sam. Third place went to Lucy Tapping as the African lady, who was helped by a well-wisher to choose her prize.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Whitley WI cricket match. It's the Whitley Ladies Edwardian cricket team. As you can see, we're just putting this stumps up. Miss Philippa, that looks like just belting the stumps in. Here come the fielders. Umpire related to Dickie Bird is Miss Rumney. Incoming batsman, Dame Judy Harrison, knighted yesterday, and Lady Rita Carter. Oh, that's a fine shot. Just a single, just a single. Oh, and it's a grass cutter, just shot for four. 4 runs, 4 runs. 5 for no wicket. Judy. It's a fine shot there from Dame Harrison. 4 runs. Ladies down there having a picnic, drinking champagne, looking very Edwardian. Must ball the over. Rita Carter. Oh, could be run out. And that's it over. No, it's not. Well, that's out, but I don't think there's any more bats swimming. I think we've got a declaration. Oh, drinks. On this fine hot summer's day, 90 degrees in Fahrenheit, we've got orange. The picnic's breaking up. I think they think there's rain coming. A few umbrellas are going up. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Stumps up. I think the match was a draw. Thank you very much, Whitley WI. Splendid performance.
4 dances for us. They're going to do the barber's pole, the plaiting, the spider's web, and the gypsy's tent. And out there just supervising everything at the moment is the young lady who has spent hours working at this, helping them get it all right, Catherine Mellons, as I'm sure somebody you all know in the village.
tombola time. A constant stream of people trying their luck helps to swell the Rose Queen funds. Mrs. Dickinson and daughter Julie are not exactly overwhelmed by numbers, at least for the moment. Winging a goldfish is harder than it looks. It's 10% skill and 90% luck, but there are always lots of children willing to have a go. Here's another lucky fish off to a new home.
Mrs. Simon, boys and girls. What's your name? You said it was... What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? His name's Simon, boys and girls. How old is Simon? Oh, stop it! How old is Simon? How old is... This is it. This is the magician's hat. I've seen the magician down the chip shop with a hat like this. This is it. This is the magician's hat. Isn't it? This is the magician's hat, isn't it, boys and girls? This is the magician's hat, boys and girls. Cool. Right. Now then, we need a make your minds up. Here's a magic wand for you now, Matthew, and don't wiggle your fingers, right? Just hold that. And what we'll do, just go and get the... Matthew? Oh dear. They're wiggling their fingers here. Over here, then everybody can see you doing it. 1, 2, 3! You know, like to put those Dad will give you a very, very loud clang. And you take a bow like that and you get a prize. Is that okay? Are we ready for the tickets? I can't hear you clapping. Louder! Loud, take a bow, take a bow.
Robert Pace decides tractor driving is easier than playing golf. Here's someone who shows him how it should be done. Children, a greasy pole and a few nutters. Need I say more?
Come on everybody, 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 come on everybody. I'm gonna sing my song. It won't take long. We're gonna do the twist. We're gonna do the twist. We're gonna do the twist, and it goes like this.
Congratulations, fellas! Phew, after all that activity, let's slow things down with the rat in a drain game. Bowling for a pig is a traditional country village game, providing entertainment for all the family. What would you do if you won a pig? Welly throwing is a relatively new sport. It is throwing a black Wellington boot as far as you can see, hence the saying, give it some welly. This chap hasn't got the right idea. You're supposed to throw it down the field, not into the crowd. Mr. Arms's technique is called the roll back welly, which wasn't very successful, so he tried to knock out Fred Ped instead, again without much success. As you can see, the mixed hockey match this year was 4 teams: Whitley Warriors, Brock's Busters, School Lane Giants and the Super Six. To get to the final, Brock's Busters hammered Whitley Warriors 3-0 and the Super Six squashed the School Lane Giants 3-1. The final saw the Super Six snatch victory from the Brock's Busters, 2-1. Well, as the day starts to cool off and people wait for the raffle to be drawn, our film comes to an end. Next June will soon be here, so friends can meet once again. Don't forget, this is your village, so be there.